we officially reached the €100,000 mark.
It is finally time to review my 200k month Facebook ad testing blueprint. And in this video, I will show you everything you need to know in order to become successful with your own Facebook ads in the testing phase. I will show you 2 paths that you can take in order to become successful, and I will literally show you my Facebook ad dashboard with basically all the products that I've tested so far in order to set up your own Facebook ad successfully after this video. So let's dive into it. Yes, so to directly dive into it and to show you basically how it's going with the store so far. As we started on the 30th of October, we are 1 month and 17 days in. As of right now, today the 16th of December, and I almost hit the 100k mark, which we set for ourselves, which I set for myself from the very beginning of this series, if you can remember. 100k was the goal in the first 60 days. So far, 97,000 euros in total sales with a conversion rate of 2.13%. And that is pretty okay overall, pretty profitable. But to show you as well how it's going right now, I can tell you not going the way as I want, and that's completely transparent. Like I said, I show everything, and I don't care, because you need to know the moments that it doesn't go that well in order to appreciate the wins even more. So 6,000 euros in the past, let's say 4 days, might sound pretty well, but it's a conversion rate of 1.3%, and that is based on the amount of total sessions we have had and the conversions we have got from it. So definitely some things we need to improve on the website and also the ads, because I can tell you we're not profitable. I'm not profitable over the past 4 days, and that is super normal. Because as you can see as well, the total, let's say, diagram over the past month is never going in an uptrend, right? They're always like downs, and then there are bigger ups. So right now we are at this point where we not perform that well. The store is not performing as I basically hope. But that's not a problem, because after this, I know it, I will just, just bounce back. And in order to, get to the point where you want to be, you need to also understand how the basically moments of, let's say, less performance and maybe even you're losing money, how that feels, and what you need to improve in order to actually make it better. Because if you don't do anything with the lessons that you can gather from these moments, you will never be able to grow. So that is super important. But besides that, directly diving into the Facebook Ad Manager right now, I will show you everything you need to know for, let's say, your Facebook ad setup. In the next videos, I will also show you how you need to analyze and also scale your ads eventually, so you can actually get towards these numbers as well. The most important part is, of course, the testing phase. But besides that, in order to test, you need to analyze to eventually scale. And the analyzation phase in the middle, I think, is even more important to understand how to scale, how to kill in order to, let's say, get yourself the most profits. So with that being said, first of all, I will show you by directly switching my screen right now, the 2 paths that I use in order to, become successful with Facebook ads. Basically 2 testing routes, and you can take and, use whatever you want in order to see what's working for you. So I would highly recommend you to take basically the 2 paths, to test them both, see what's working on your ad account in order to continue with what's working. Okay, so I will switch over to the new screen right now, and from there on I will show you the 2 routes that I always take in order to become successful with Facebook ads. So this is my 200k a month Facebook ad testing blueprint. This is path 1, and we have path 2. Directly diving into it, the CBO testing setup. For those who don't know what this means, this is a campaign budget optimization. This is basically where we give Facebook all the spend, and they are going to find the right target audience based on this setup that we have created. And this is just one campaign for each product with one ad set. And I will show you in a second how we're going to set it up, but it's just one ad set with no interest targeting. So that means we are giving Facebook a very broad audience, and they are going to find the right audience within, let's say, the no interest targeting that we give them. So we rely on the Facebook ad algorithm. The algorithm is so strong that they will find the right audience based on the product that we are launching. And that's basically working really well. This is just path 1. Based on that, you have, of course, ad creatives you need to implement. Okay, so the 3 different creatives we use in here are 2 videos or photos. That depends on your product, because if you have a product that's like a fashion product, what I'm selling, you need to understand your photos should be good enough. Or maybe you have a product that actually needs some more explanation. Then you need to have a video. So based on your product, you need to basically decide if you're going to use a video or you use a photo. So a quick tip here. If you're using a video, that's mostly for products that has a wow factor, that you need to show them with a video, that the actual visual effect will become also visible for the customer, right? From their point of view. Or you're targeting like basically an audience with a problem and you're solving with your product the problem that they are facing, then you need to have a video, because a video makes it way more like tangible for people in order to understand what your product can do and what problem it might solve. So based on that, you choose if you're going to use a video or photo. And the third ad creative is going to be a carousel. A carousel is right now working really well for me. So always one of the 3 ads that I use based on, besides the 2 photos, I always use one carousel with all the ad creatives implemented, or let's say all the variants that I'm selling on my website implemented in just one carousel ad. That's basically just like ads that you can basically add in multiple different variants of the product, and you show that directly with your ad, so people can actually scroll. And besides those 3 ad creatives, we just use one ad copy. That basically equals the 3 ad creatives that we are going to use from the start. And after that, we of course going to test different ad copies along the way in order to trigger different hooks and to just continue, let's say, have the product continue to run for multiple days, weeks and months in order to get the most out of it. Okay, that's basically path 1. This equals a testing budget of €50.88 a day. This does not mean that you're going to spend the entire amount if you analyze it accordingly during the day in order to kill it at several stages. And that's exactly where my next video is going to be based about, in order to, let's say, have yourself make the right decisions in order to kill it in time, and also in order to scale it over time, because that's super important in order to generate the most profits. Okay, so with that being said, path 1, directly diving into path 2 right now, and that's basically the path that I use mostly for my new store, and that is this one, EBO testing setup. This is basically the setup that most of you who understand Facebook ads already might use right now as well, which is one campaign, of course, and we don't add the budget on campaign level as we do in the CBO setup. We do that on ad set level. That's also why it's called an EBO, an ad set budget optimization campaign. We use 4 different ad sets. And to directly tell you the truth, you should always use just one interest in each ad set. Okay? I see many people also adding like multiple interests in like just one ad set, but you don't know what ad set performed the best. In order to, scale to multiple figures, you need to understand which ad sets are performing well from your very first view on an ad set. And based on that, you can just duplicate one ad set 3 times. So you have in total 4 ad sets. And then you're going to just implement 3 new ad sets with different interests in the other ad sets. Okay, so basically from those 4 ad sets, we use one open ad set, and we will set it up in a second. One time an engaged shopper ad set. This is an actual name of an interest. Okay, so it's the engaged shopper ad set. One product related interest, depending on the product that you're using, you have a product related interest ad set. So this is basically an interest that resonates with the product that you're selling. And then a one-time generic interest ad set. So that's just a very broad ad set that can just be about anything that has nothing to do with your product in order to see how that performs. All of these ad sets, I would recommend to start with the testing budget of €15.88 a day. And why we use the 88 cents at basically at the end, also in here, is because 99% of the people are using a €50 per day ad set, basically budget for their campaign, right? If we spend just a little bit more, Facebook sees us as basically a person, or let's say a company, who's willing to spend more in order to generate, let's say, more profits for ourselves, of course. But what they think is they spend more, we send the best traffic towards that store. So that's why we just test with 88 cents more than most of the people advertising in the testing phase. and that will get us better results most likely. At least that's what I have seen. Then we use 3 different ad sets, and that is completely the same as we discussed in here, okay? So that's completely the same. Nothing more to talk about that. And the total ad set budget is around 60 euros a day if you implement this. If you don't want to spend directly the 15 euros per ad set per day, then you can definitely also use it at 10 euros and 88 cents. So with that being said, let's dive into the ad manager to show you my Facebook ads and how we're going to set it up in both ways, both paths. So let's dive into it. Okay, so we are in the Facebook ad manager. And as you can see, this is basically my live Facebook ad manager that I use for this new store. And of course, the data, I can tell you, is not completely accurate, because Facebook is always like leaving data behind. There are like 1200 orders in here with an average ROAS of 1.89, while we actually have on the store 1400, almost 1500 orders. So there are like almost 300 orders left behind. So that's super important to understand in order to also, let's say, track your data accurately. So in order to analyze, what we will do in the next video, I will show you everything you need to know and how to do it properly with different tools and different strategies that I always use in order to make an educated decision and to not rely only on false data, okay? So with that being said, this is basically for all the products that I've used, I'm always using the ABO path, okay? So you've seen engaged shopper, non-related, related interest, and no interest. 20 euros a day, that's what I do. You can do it like the way how I explained. You can just do it at 15 or 10 euros per ad set per day. But in order to set it up properly and also to do, of course, the creatives in here, to upload them in here, I will show you how we do it, and you can just literally follow my strategies along. Okay, first thing we do is we create a new campaign, right? Always sales, continue. We make it a manual sales campaign. And the next thing we do is just implement your product name in here. So product name. And then, that's just your name of the product. And what you can do as well is at the very end, just for yourself, explain how many profit you will have when you sell one product with all the costs deducted from it, excluded the Facebook ad costs. In order to have a good and healthy profit margin, I always recommend to have at least 15 to 18 euros of profit per product sold, okay? Then in here we scroll down, and in order to first set up the CBO testing campaign, we use the advanced campaign budget. We turn it on and we just directly make it a 50 euros and 88 cents, 88 cents budget per day, right? The daily budget. So this is basically the only thing you need to do at campaign level. Right now we click on next, and we in here just will implement, or let's say talk about the no interest, right? So it's no interest, like that, because this is just a very broad campaign as I explained earlier. And the next thing that we will do is literally do nothing in here, because we don't need to implement any products whatsoever. And we can just directly scroll down, and in here what we normally would do in audience controls is literally, first of all, of course, the start date, if that would be from tomorrow onwards, we just set it at 1 a.m. in the morning. The end date, we leave it open. And let me see, this is always what we need to have, of course, a maximize number of conversions, right? Because we eventually want to have the purchases, and basically that's our goal. So you need to click in here and maximize number of conversions, purchases, cost per purchase goal. You don't need to do that. I'm also not able to click on it right now. And the next thing that we will do is audience control. So we click on edit, and what you need to do in here is literally choosing basically your audience, right? So based on that, your market where you're selling in. For me, it is Germany. So what I would do is Germany, I click on it, and that's the only thing you need to do. If you have multiple countries, you can do that in here as well. But if you remember, I would never recommend you to implement multiple countries in just one store, as you want to really focus on the language and just one country per store that you're using. So with that being said, we scroll down and we see here the advanced audience, and we click on it, And in here, normally what we can do is implement, let's say, our target audience, which would be, for example, for this one, no interest. So we do nothing in here. But if it would be for the ABO campaign, which I will show you in a second, we need to actually implement our basically interests in here. So then we scroll down. This is something we don't need to do anything with. This is just your beneficiary name. This is like the name for your store you can literally implement in order to have that set up properly. Okay, so in order to also have, let's say, your promoted products be available like per product, what I mean with that you're just testing one product at a time instead of an entire catalog. What we need to do in order to have this, let's say, removed, we need to of course go to the campaign level and switch this off. You'll see here in campaign details, use a catalog. This is what we switch off in order to be able to just like use all kind of let's say products that we want to use, right? And not that Facebook is going to use basically our catalog for. So this is just its name, maximize number of conversions. Then your pixel is able to like also show up in here. The conversion event should always be purchase, okay? If you do this for an initiate checkout or add to cart, you will attract people with the behavior of actually initiating checkout or adding it to cart, but it does not mean that they will make the purchase or add the payment info, whatever. So in here, we always click on purchase. That's the eventual goal that we want to have, right, with the campaign. So with that being said, this just jumped back. So this is just like I said, 1 in the morning. And it doesn't matter if you do 1 in the morning, 5 in the morning, whatever. It's just in the morning. So you have an entire like time span of like almost an entire day to, let's say, have Facebook spend your budget that you will allocate towards one campaign just properly and spread out over the entire day. So location is just the same, like I said, Germany, and this is everything right here is right now. So we go next, and right now we are going to create the ad creatives. So in order to have, let's say, do this properly, I always recommend you to do ad 1, and then we are going to duplicate it 2 more times in order to have, let's say, the 3 ads. But before we do that, we first need to select our basically Facebook page and your Instagram account. And after that, you can create your ad. So always click on manual upload, then a single image or video first. And the last one, if you can remember, we use the carousel, right? So single image or video. Then we scroll down and we implement here our image that we will use. So that would be, for example, let's say we use a new product, or let's say a new, just a new product we want to test. We click on upload, based on your product that you're going to test. You upload it. And here I will just upload all 3 of it. I will just use an old ad from me that I used on the old store that I've used in order to just show you how we do it, okay? So we click on next. We use this as our first ad, like that. And the only thing you need to do right now is the primary text. So your primary text can be something like, if we do this, like to show you as well where it's gonna pop up, it's just in here the actual ad copy that we were talking about. So this is the exact same of all the 3 ads. The headline is something that will pop up in here, and the description is something that will pop up under your, let's say, under your headline. Okay, just a small text. This is something optional you don't need to do. In order to do this properly, you can literally have, let's say, one appealing sentence where you actually describe your number 1 problem that you're solving, or besides the number 1 problem that you're solving, you can also just talk about, for example, the shoe that we are advertising. So I will just do it in English right now, but you always need to do this in the country where you're selling in that specific language, okay? In my case, it would be German. I don't know how to speak German myself, I can tell you, but I will just do it in English right now. So I will just do something like, enjoy optimal comfort during the cozy winter days, something like that, with an emoji, something you can implement in here like that. And I don't know, it's gone. Yeah, just an emoji there, and then you do like, for example, what you can do right now is 2 routes. You can actually sum up like 3 benefits of the product that you're using. So you just stack it up in here with maybe just like the check mark, right? The green check mark everybody knows about. We can just implement that in here as well. And then basically what you're going to do in here is like, for example, benefit 1 or problem solver 1. You literally copy this, you paste it down, benefit 2, that you're going to write down a benefit 3. And this is just one very short sentence or just a few words in order to describe your benefit, problem that you're solving, or whatever you're implementing in here in just a very short sentence, okay? Then we click, scroll down, and in here you always want to have your product link involved as well. So what that means is we're going to describe our offer, which is, for example, shop now with 50% discount. So discount. And then what you can do is like literally use your, let's say, finger emoji that's like that, directing to the right with your product link, right? And this is the link that will redirect the people towards your product page. So keep that in mind. So this is like the actual ad copy that we will use for all the three ads that we are going to create. So the next thing in here is something you can do also in two things. You can describe the number one benefit in here in the headline as well in just a few very short words, or the discount. So you can literally do this as well. And then that's also possible. You can also use an emoji. You can also literally use this emoji to, let's say, also point out to the shop now button that we will implement. So instead of learn more, we scroll down. This is something you can literally do, like, for example, free shipping, just very short. Don't need to do anything much in here. And you'll see it will pop up under in here once it's like uploaded. In here we use the shop now button. So we let the drop down pop up and we click on shop now here, right? And you'll see it like literally that the finger is directly pointing out to the shop now button. And that's what we need. In here, you're going to upload your product URL, so your website URL. So the actual URL that you're using as well in here, you can literally copy and implement it in here, because that will allow the people, when they click on the shop now button, that they will get redirected to the right product page. And that's what you want, of course. This is something you can just leave on none. And then you scroll down, you have your pixel and everything in here. You can leave this open, that's not necessary. You can do it if you also want to, let's say, have the URL parameters in order to track it maybe with Google Analytics or over different campaigns. But that's something you need to decide for yourself. I don't do it right now. You have everything in place right now. So the only thing you need to do in order to have, let's say, the 3 ads that you want to create is literally duplicate it 2 more times in the basically original campaign. We click on duplicate. And the only thing you need to do right now is changing the ad creative. So as we said, we are not going to change the ad copy, and we are not going to change the, let's say, anything else besides the actual ad creative. So what we do is we click on add media, and we click on the second one. So this will be the second one we will use, done. And as you can see right now, the second one has also popped up. And the third one, that's actually something you can decide for yourself. Like I said, we can use the carousel in here, or we can just use another image or video. But to, use the carousel for now, to click on carousel, and we can basically in here add cards. So we add image cards and we use those 3, right? In order to have the carousel pop up, you need to upload of course your website URL in here. We'll just do this. And right now you can literally see people can literally scroll through your ads in order to see all the ad creatives or all the variants you have available for them. And you can literally add how many you want. I would recommend you to not go more than 5 to 6. That's just my sweet spot from what I have seen. And we use literally all the same for the rest in here, right? So that's the only thing you need to do in order to have that done. Set up your CBO campaign setup is right now done. You click on campaign level and you click on publish in order to actually publish your ad for tomorrow morning that we have scheduled at 1 a.m. as you can see, of course. So this is the CBO setup. In order to generate the EBO setup, what we do is normally you just create like a new campaign, but you make it easy for you as well, and to not have to do this like all over again. What we do is literally turn this off, because this is something you won't have from the beginning, of course. And we use, like I said, the budget on ad set level. So what we do is we scroll down, we set the daily budget at €15 and 88 cents a day, like this. Then 1 a.m. in the morning, this like stays exactly the same. You don't need to do anything else besides changing your budget, of course. And in here we use the Advantage Plus audience, right? We click on switch to original audience options. And in here you have, like, say, all the things available that you need in order to target your right audience. So if you can remember, we use as well like one no interest. So we leave it like that. Depending on your product, you can also target your right gender or the right age. However, from the beginning, I would always recommend to just use your age and gender very broad in order to have, let's say, Facebook decides which audience, of course, resonates with your product. So then we leave this as a no interest. And if you can remember, we use one time no interest. So an open ad set, that is this one. See this as no interest. One engaged shopper interest. Then a product related interest. So let's see, with the product that we are using, the shoe, we can do something like clothing or whatever that's resonating with the product. And one generic ad set, and that's just a very broad one. So diving back, what we do in order to actually have it set up properly is you always need to first have, let's say, set up your ad creatives as well for the first one. Then you go back, once you've done this, to duplicate the ad set 3 more times in order to have 4 ad sets available, right? So we duplicate it, and then you'll see the ad creatives will also duplicate with it. So that's why you need to do this first in order to not have, let's say, so you don't have to like do the exact same actions like for every single ad set by creating the ad creatives with it. So, right, this is like very simple, just a quick tip. So we have 3 times the no interest copy, and that's where we are going to implement the other interests. So the first one is the engaged shoppers. We scroll down, and the only thing we change, super simple, is basically in here, we use the engaged shopper interest, and that's the only thing you need to do. Then we go to the third one, which is the product related interest. And if you can remember, we are selling a shoe. So what we can do is something like shoe. So shoes, footwear, that's of course something that really resonates with the product, and we just paste it down. That's the third one, and the last one is a very broad one. So something that has nothing to do with the product. Something like, you know, nature. This is very broad audience normally, like nature, science, this one. And you have enough, let's say, audience in order to target your product with this ad set. And that's the only thing you need to do. So right now, what we have done is we have set up 4 different ad sets, right, for this campaign in an ABO campaign right now at €15.88 a day with 3 ad sets, ad creatives under each ad set with 1 interest in just every single ad set. So with that being said, the only thing you need to do right now in order to publish this one as well is go back to campaign level, publish it, and you're ready to go. So with that being said, guys, this is everything you need to know in order to become successful with Facebook ads in the testing phase, to make the right decisions from the beginning and to not be off track in just the testing phase. So if you do this, you at least know that's, let's say, that your ad setup is well. Right now you need to just find the right products. In order to do that, I made the first video about the series also regarding that. I will show you in the next videos how to analyze your ads, and I've also shown to you how you can literally set up your store by actually showing one of my stores that I've used that you can literally steal from me. So everything, basically from that being said, everything is like explained in this entire YouTube series. I hope this video was valuable to you as well. This was a very long one compared to the other ones, but a very important one. So basically take your advantage of it. Let me know in the comments what you think of this video, and I would be very happy to see you in the next one where we're going to analyze our ads together. So with that being said, guys, looking forward to see you in the next one. Take care. Peace. Yes, guys, just want to show you this because this entire journey was basically made to go from absolute zero to, as you know, to 100K in the first 60 days of launching the new store. And as you can see, we officially reached the €100,000 mark yesterday, 2 days ago actually, on December 16th. Right now, €104,000 in total sales. I also refreshed the page. As you can see, totally legit, all transparent, as I basically promised you guys. So this is how it's going. €104,000 in total sales with a conversion rate over 2.1%, around 28% in profit so far.
which is really good right now.
It's just time to scale the process to, you know, to grow towards 200K a month. That's the next goal. That's what we are going to hit, and I will show you guys everything. So thank you all for the support. I am super grateful for it, and yeah, I'm super excited to also show you guys everything. I'm going basically over like also from 2024 onwards, and yeah, appreciate the support. Take you guys with me, and on to the next goals. Take care.